want everyone to read this out loud.
Every
All right, let's try it all together. I'll point, you read. The words.
A habit or pattern of behavior that has become dull and unproductive, but is hard to change.
All right. How many of you, throughout your year, your day, your life, get into a rut? All right. Everybody should have their hands raised. Because everybody does. Now, I'm speaking specifically to creativity. All right? Behind the chair, we get comfortable. Our clientele gets comfortable. We start to do the same haircuts in the same color over and over and over again on our customers. Sometimes, throughout the year, you'll notice, I haven't seen this person in a while. And you start to wonder, you maybe give them a call. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Just, wanted to check in, whatever. And it happens sometimes that they're like, oh, you know what, I switched over to so-and-so at this shop. And they don't give you a reason why. You say, oh, okay. But the underlying reason why is you got into a comfort zone and you weren't pushing yourself creatively, and that person got bored with you. Okay? So, how do we get ourselves out of them? Creation. Being creative. We're all creative people. But when we lose that creativity, we are losing the attraction. Creativity equals attraction. Okay? It attracts your clients to you. The basic principles that come first in hairdressing, everyone needs to learn those basic principles. And you need to become comfortable in those principles, and that's great. Why? Because once you learn those principles, then you can break the rules. When we go into competition, competition is about taking what someone has done and then expanding on that creation and trying to make it your own, make it new, and make your country separate out from the rest of the countries. Every day in the salon, we can do the same thing. You take a simple haircut that's a bob and you create a little bit more of a diagonal forward with it. You go a little more asymmetrical with it. And you try to push your customers into a little bit something new. You maybe challenge them, you maybe get them excited about what it is that they're wearing so that they can go say, you know what, you gave me something different this time. And I wasn't sure at first, oh my God, I love it. And usually they get that confidence when they hear it from their friends outside of the shop, So, in order to get yourself out of those ruts and get yourself into creative thinking, you're going to want to start to push yourself. And the best way that I found to push yourself is to create photo and video of your work. Why is that important now? Because everyone is on their cell phones all day long, okay? Everyone's constantly looking. Social media has been talked about in the industry for a long time. But as social media, as we think of it, we think about the person that makes millions of dollars in social media. How do I do that? It's not the way to think about it. You need to be thinking about social media in a small sense. How do I connect with my clients? Don't think beyond that. Think about, make your clients follow you on social media and show your clients on social media so they can show their friends. Because in the end, you just want a small following of people locally around you to come to your salon. If you can wrap your head around that, instead of trying to focus on the big picture, none of us need to be famous. We can be famous in our town. We don't need to be famous globally. I don't need to fly to LA, to New York, to go make money. But those people that are super famous on social media, that's what they do. I'm married, I have 2 kids. I'm not flying around the country. I want to be home. But I want to make sure that the people in my town want to come to me. And I want to set myself apart as a hairstylist in town, not just show the side-by-side pictures that everyone shows on social media. I'm sure you've seen every hairstylist profile on Instagram. Most of them, all they do is show the back of the head, side by side, and that's it. Or they show it before and after, and that's it. All right? That doesn't set you apart. That's just what everyone else is doing. Today you're going to learn, this week, you're going to learn how to set yourself apart. The best free stuff that we get especially all of us here, is free education, right? Now, that transfers into your clientele too. If you can give free education to your clients through things like this, putting a technical out that your hairstylist will learn from, but also putting a technical out on how to do a blow-dry style that they can see, and they can learn how to do their hair in 5 minutes at home, as good or almost as good as you do it in the salon, that's going to make you look better and generate more cash flow. We all want to make more money, right? So, let's get into a little bit of the technical and the stuff that you see in front of you. This particular technical took me a total of 3 hours to make. Okay? It looks like, simple, but it takes a little bit of work, but it is simple. And you guys can take pictures on your iPhones or your Samsung phones, anything like that. And you can put together something like this that will help you, in turn, gain more clientele, help your clientele be able to show off your work, and you can also develop this into something where you're able to help local stylists around your area and teach classes and do different things like that. A lot of you raise your hands that go in salons, right? How many have a hard time finding stylists to work in your salon? Okay? One of the best things you can do is teach in your salon for other stylists around the area. Competition, a lot of people think, I don't want to share, I don't want to give this away because that salon's right next door, down the street. It's not important. There's enough money in everywhere we live for everyone to be eaten like kings and queens. Okay? So the more you share, the more you give, the more you'll gain and get. And it's not about necessarily gaining and getting things yourself. It's about the giving because you want everyone to be successful. Just like John and Johnny's company does. That's exactly what they do. They want everyone to eat like kings and queens. So it's the same thing as an individual. We've lived too much in this competition. I like to refer to Eminem. Who knows Eminem? All right, when Eminem got famous, he made all his friends famous. All his friends got rich. They all became great rappers. That kind of thing. That's the way a hairdresser should be. Now I'm showing my age a little bit in that sentence there, but I'm only 3 of you raised your hands, but I know more if you don't raise your hands.
We know what you mean.
Yeah. All right, now, what's the biggest thing creatively that hurts us? Fear. Fear equals failure. Okay? We're all afraid to take a chance. A lot of times. Jimmy and I were talking the other day, and how many of you, if you saw like a celebrity or somebody on the street, would say, oh, that's so-and-so, and then just keep walking? Most of us, right? But if we got past the fear and went and talked to that person, that might turn into an opportunity. His was a guy in New York that was walking down the street and saw Warren Buffett. And he actually ran up to him and said, hey, Warren, started a conversation with him. And after he initially met Warren Buffett, was it 2 years, 3 years later? 2 years later, Warren Buffett turned around and bought his company for $50 million, just through a conversation.
Wow.
So you create opportunities for yourself by getting past that fear. Sandy Seeley came up here and just had me do an experiment. Cross your arms. Everybody cross your arms. Now try to do it the opposite way. It's uncomfortable, right? Feels weird. But you can do it. You just got to get past that thought process. All right? Now everybody, since you have your instructionals in front of you, I want this class to be a little bit more creative and collective. So I'm going to have everyone kind of scoot up. Bring your chairs, move up around here. I'm going to have my model come up. And we're going to have her sit in a chair right up here.
You want us all closer?
Yeah, everybody move closer. I mean, if you're up in the front rows, you don't have to move, but the people in the back, because we're going to get more involved in this class. And I need a chair for you. Take this one, I'll take that one. Right, you sit right here.
No.
I can help anybody if they, on the sides here, if they want to. Move this stuff out of the way.
Now, her hair is styled all nice and everything today. And we're not gonna do any cutting today yet. We're actually just gonna start the process of how do I create content that's gonna generate cash flow locally. And I can scoot this back, I'll scoot you back a little bit too, so you get more room up here. There you go.
Do you have the new paper?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that cool? There you go. That's our new one.
I'll style you back up before I go to the pool, okay? Alright, what I want to do is I want to start with a basic consultation with everyone in here. And you guys are going to do the consultation with me, okay? This is going to take us back to where I said that the basic principles come first before you break the rules. Alright, so we have to be able, as hairstylists, to look at a person, look at their face shape, and decide what technically rules we need to follow in order to give her the best look possible. What kind of face shape does she have?
Oh.
Okay. Now what's the best part about an oval face shape?
Yeah.
Alright. What does that lead us to? Creativity. Alright, what is she wearing now?
Just a layer better.
And what do we want to do with her to update her look?
Lift her up.
Alright, how? Let's think outside the box.
On the back.
I definitely think that it's too long for her face, right?
Absolutely.
Okay? Right there. Be a good length for her.
I mean, I've used for so many years that the head is 1/7 of the body. So I always look at them when they walk into the salon too, you know,
Yeah.
first time person, I want to see them from head to toe. And I maybe even just ask them if they just stand up, you know, so I can look at them a little bit better because I want that line design balance to be there.
And as soon as we see someone at the point that we are as hairstylists, we should know within 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
And it's not just one look in 30 seconds. You should have 5 options.
Yes.
Okay? What I do when my customers come in is I get those 4 or 5 looks and I'm thinking in my head, okay, let's decide with these 4 or 5 looks, let me ask her some questions that are important to her and to me deciding what that final look should be. So I would ask you, so what do you do for a living?
I'm a hairdresser.
You're a hairdresser. I think you need a little bit more funkiness in your haircut.
I think you're right.
All right? What's your average age of your clientele?
Probably 40 to 60.
Okay. 40 to 60 is a great range. What's the best range of clients? Actually, no, not 20s.
30 and up.
30 to 45. Why?
Money.
Not just money. They have children,
Yeah.
and you want families. All right. We should all be catering to families. We should all be catering to that 30 to 45-year-old age group because they're going to bring their kids in, and that's going to guarantee your youth. That keeps providing that constant flow of clients to your salon. And then they tell their friends, and when they get in high school and you get the prom, I mean, it's just that constant flow. That age group is the most important age group. And I think that goes away sometimes because as we do hair and as we age, our clientele has a tendency to age. And then we get comfortable and we get in the rut and we don't think about marketing towards that younger group. And my dad, this is a funny story because I've been working next to him since I was 19 years old in the salon. I'm now 39, almost 40. So 20 years, been working next to my dad. And just this year, his clients slowly started moving into my chair. Why?
Uh-oh.
That's why.
Uh-oh, Daddy got in a rut.
He did. He's thinking retirement. He's thinking relaxing.
Yeah.
He's taking a lot of vacations. He's doing those things. And he's complaining sometimes because his books aren't full when he is there. Okay? We had this discussion right before I came out here. this is what helped me generate this class. All right?
Thanks, Dad.
Yes. So, for us now as stylists, making sure we get out of this rut. We can do this creatively. When we look at our lovely model Nancy, she's a hairstylist, she's part of this group, she's a friend of ours. I want her to go home and be successful in gaining 30 to 45-year-old clients. I want her look to help her generate 30 to 45-year-old clients. This rut doesn't just mean behind the chair doing hair, it means getting up in the morning, putting your clothes on, going shopping, creating a look for yourself that's gonna help you maintain. You know, my dad, he still wears the same jeans that he's had for 20 years. And when he wears them, I take pictures of him and post it on social media with a funny tagline sometimes, just so he gets a little bit more embarrassed. Because I want him to step out of that box sometimes, you know? So it's things like that where you're pushing yourself, and you gotta push your creativity. Dad, let me take you shopping. Let me buy you some clothes. You know? No, I'm fine. No, you're really not. You're really not fine. So, you know, little things like that.
I love it.
All right, so back to Nancy. The length,
Giovanni.
I definitely think we should take her to shoulders.
My dad does that to me.
Hey. I'll say your dad is a great dresser. He always has been. He always has been.
I think you guys did right.
I remember your dad when he was 19.
Yeah.
And he was so diligent about his craft, his work ethic, and his speed, that he was always faster than even the other stylists. Yeah.
Yeah, he had it.
Yeah.
No, he still has it. I love my father, he's a great guy. And there is a part of life when you hit a certain point where you get the luxury of being able to relax. Because it is a luxury.
I feel like I'm hearing my future right now. Like,
It is.
my
It
daughter is
yeah.
19. I am 45. This is gonna be the flip script in a
Well,
few years
I'm
for
40,
me.
my dad's 65. And it's funny because when you hit 40 as a child, when you're working with your father for so long, you start to really crack yourself up because you realize, oh my God, I'm taking care of my dad now.
Oh,
Like
man.
he's
That's cool.
like he's doing things now that I'm like, Dad, you can't do that. Like, this isn't 1980 anymore. You can't sit on a client's lap and tickle her thigh like that. Like, you're 60. When you were 25, you could do that. You can't do that now.
That's Marty.
That is Marty. I mean, I think he probably goes up to Sandy still and, you know, gives you a little pinch or whatever.
Listen, he does that
So,
thing on
blows
the
on
neck.
your neck, yeah.
Oh my gosh, your whole body is goosebumps. I'm like, Marty, stop that.
So, you know, little things like that, as time progresses, you get to see those little changes, and even those things are ruts. Those things are habitual ruts in your brain. So, all that stuff comes out. Now, creatively, when we look at her, I'm thinking, I want her to get out of a rut. How do I tell her, how do I get through to her as a client that, okay, you're a hairstylist, this is what you do for a living. We want you to look like a hairstylist. I tell this to all my staff. Don't come with your hair up. Do your hair every day. You work in a salon. Dress the part. Wear fashionable clothes. You attract what you are. And if you're not creative, you will never attract more money. You will always just have a flat line of income. It'll be the same people, and those people will grow with you, and then they'll die, as you do, okay? But what we really need, especially salon owners, is growth. You're always chasing growth, okay? And the only way to do that is to push your creative boundaries. Break the rules. Don't get stuck in a rut.
Love it.
Now, lengthwise, here, what's the overall look gonna be? What should we do? This is what I do when I'm in the salon. I see those 4 or 5 looks in my head. Then I automatically go to Pinterest and I type those looks in. While I'm asking questions to her, what do you do for a living? What's your daily routine? What's your lifestyle like? Are you an active person? What do you love to do in your free time? Do you like the opera? And so I can tell, are you conservative? Are you wild and crazy? Are you fashion forward? You know what I mean? And then I take the things that she says and I incorporate that into what look I think she should have. And then what I try to do is think about my words and how I'm going to make her choose what I want her to have. Okay, that's the hardest part about being a hair professional, is telling your clients what they need in the way that they understand. Gino talked about at 9 o'clock he's Catholic, at 10 o'clock he's Jewish, at 11 o'clock he's, whatever. So it's adapting your personality in order to give the best creative advice to that person, and then making them tell you what you want them to have.
Right.
Okay?
Very good.
And that's the most important part about it, and that's also the most important part about pushing your creativity. You need to be looking outside of that box. You can't look at her and say, okay, we did a partial foil and a basic bob haircut last time, we're going to do the same thing this time. You can do that a little bit, you can do that a couple haircuts, but then after that you got to switch it up. You got to push yourself. You can't get stuck in that rut. Okay? She's a beautiful woman. She's got a beautiful oval face shape. She leaves us a lot of option because of that oval face shape that we can play with. I personally would like to give her something a little more funky, but not too funky, but something a little more funky. So I'm thinking a little asymmetrical. Now, what do you think about asymmetrical on her?
She could carry it,
Okay?
definitely.
Where is the asymmetry going to be? Is it going to be back to front? Or is it going to be side to side? How are we going to do that?
Back to front.
Back to front, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Why?
She seems a little more conservative, but
Yep.
she wants to have fun, but I think if she went too far on it, it's not gonna be something she's gonna wanna upkeep.
She won't feel comfortable with
Right,
the front.
What? Okay, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point. So you're going to push her creativity and your creativity a little bit by giving her something that's basically opposite of what she has now. She's got a layered haircut that layers from the front to back. We're going to change that. We're going to give her shorter layers in the back. It's going to stack that back a little bit. It's going to push the hair forward. And we're going to create fringe and frame around her face that's going to give her something that
Softness.
shows off all the beautiful cheekbones, the beautiful eyes,
I like a
things
little
like that.
fringe on her forehead too. I like
Bangs are good.
Just like
Keep the
a
bangs
little
on her.
fringe and
Yeah.
under.
She needs a
Sure.
little side frame.
Yeah, I like a side bang with,
I was gonna say, I think a side bang.
a side bang is gonna create a little bit more modern look to her, but then you can also cut
She's
underneath
looking at.
a straight across
It's
bang
one
that
ear.
the side bang lays over.
I
So
like
she
that.
can wear it both ways.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, be a little softest.
Alright,
And not too long in the face coming down.
right. You don't want dog ears. I call them dog ears.
Well, not only
There's an age
that,
category where dog ears work and they don't.
But there's another issue, because as we get older, our face starts to do its thing. And if you're too much pulling down there, it's gonna pull her face down.
And
Right.
pull her eyes are like almond shaped to me. I see almond.
Yeah.
And
Need to
so
bring
it's
her
like if
cheekbones
she's
down.
got too much coming down, it'll pull her eyes down, pulls her mouth down.
So that tells us two things.
We need
If we're gonna give her fringe around the face, we have to have volume here.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That's-
Okay.
yes.
She needs volume, all right, so now we learned all that. Now creatively, we've got the haircut down.
Yeah.
Now that we have the haircut down, let's think about color. What
Lighter.
color is gonna enhance her?
Lighter.
Look at what she's got going on right here.
Whoa.
Not bad at all.
Wisdom.
Barely any.
Wisdom blonde.
That's children.
She got that, something's in the water. She's got
Yeah.
a white streak down the middle.
Now, her colors that she has going on right now are more ashy. She's not, it doesn't have any warmth to the color. She's got an ashy blonde and an ashy base, and that's fine. What do we think about that color with her skin tone?
As you get older, I've dealt with this with some of my clients, even though they tend to be cooler tones,
Mhm.
as they get older, and if I get too cool on them, then it kind of wipes them out. So
Right.
they do need a little bit of warmth in there, even if they are cool tones.
Now, what do you do with a customer who says, I hate gold, I hate red, I hate seeing those tones?
Well, you're covered, Sandy. You turn them away from the mirror.
Yes.
A lot of, what I do, and you might do this too in the salon, I have hair swatches
Mhm.
from hair extensions. I've got a lot of them. And I put them against their skin. So even our little color swatches don't do it justice because they're just little teeny things. But I've got long hair, all different colors. So I'll, put that up against the client's skin so they can see. Because sometimes you look at a picture and they like the picture because they're looking at the face too of the person with the makeup, and it's a total look in these pictures.
Right.
A lot of them. So they're not realizing that color won't look good on their skin. So that's what I would do. I would take her and show different color swatches, long hair against her skin, and do different ones, or maybe, a darker piece by her face, lighter, and so you have an
So what you
option
just
of doing
said there is something that I think about. Okay, we don't have to go crazy color-wise, as far as making her purple and pink and this and that, whatever. We don't have to go crazy with taking her from ashy to all golden tones, but little pops and
Intermix.
placement.
Right.
Placement
Yeah.
is the most important thing, okay? When we know what we're gonna do with the cut, then we can create the perfect placement for color.
Are her eyes green or blue? Hard to tell from here.
They are green or hazel. So, if we're gonna do something on her with a bang, I would love to do that little fringe that's underneath, the darker, more golden tone, with a highlight right behind it that lays over the top. So she can pull it to the side and show the warmth, or she can have that light blonde highlight that hangs down. Now you give her both options.
Yes.
And you're being smart about what she's able to show. You're giving her more options creatively to wear not just one look, but multiple looks, okay? When you do the haircut, you gotta be thinking, okay, she can wear this flat, sleek fringe. She can also give a lot of volume. She can put some wave into it. And when I put the color in, how am I gonna show off those things? If you do a zigzag part right at the crest line around her head, and you put the golden tone in here, you take a star-shaped part on the top, and you add blonde highlights just in that section. And then you do your base color, staying with her ashy tone, because you've got the golden tone around that crest line, the crest area. So when all that falls, when she wears it straight, she's gonna be blonde. When she puts the wave in, you're gonna see multicolored tones.
Yes.
Okay? Now you're thinking creatively, now you're pushing your boundaries, you're pushing your client's boundaries without taking them from super conservative to super punk rock and making wrong choices. That's knowing your basic rules and then being able to break them properly, okay? That's how you have to think, and you have to push your brain creatively in that sense. All right, now, write all this down. Angled bob, or angled layered bob is what we're going for, okay? It's gonna be shorter in the back, longer in front. Not too long in front, because we don't want dog ears.
Right.
Okay. She has ashy tone color. We want to give her some golden tones within that. All right? So now, star-shaped parting on top, highlighted. Fringe bang, golden tone. Side swept bang, blonde highlight. Crest area, 1-inch section, zigzag part, golden. All right? There's our look. That's what we need.
Cool.
Now that we know that, for our technicals that we're going to create, and you're all going to learn how to do and shoot, let's talk sectioning. All right, I gave you the sectioning and what you wrote down. Hopefully you wrote it all down that way. Now we need to look at how are we going to section this haircut. I like to start to break down the head into 6 sections. All right? I go the occipital bone in the back of the head, draw a straight line from ear to ear across the occipital bone. Okay, that's going to section out your bottom 2 sections, which are your nape. Next section is going to be top of the ear to top of the ear, across the apex of the head, the highest point of the head. That's going to create your next 4 sections. All right? And then we have to decide which way are we going to go with the part. Are we going to part her left to right or right to left? Which way do you part your hair? Left to right. So we're going to go center of the left eyebrow, and we're going to create these front 2 sections, center of the left eyebrow, directly back to the apex on a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to do that right now. She's got lots of hairspray in her hair.
John, Amico hairspray.
The only hairspray you should have.
Right?
Now, the next part that we're gonna get into is gonna be taking the pictures, okay? All I wanna do today is take the pictures of the sections, and then I wanna teach you all the difference between cutting hair as a hairdresser and holding hair and cutting hair as a photographer slash videographer, okay? We're all gonna be basic photographers and videographers. We don't have to be great at it. All you need is a phone with a camera on it, and then we're gonna all learn how to understand body placement when you're taking a picture and lighting when you're taking a picture. All you need is an open window. It doesn't have to be sunny, it can be cloudy out, that's fine. And then we're gonna stand up and I'm gonna have you guys all get in there and show me, like as a hairstylist, we'd comb the hair this way. But when you're shooting a picture, you gotta comb the hair down and get your arm out this way and hold it down and get in funky positions to get the right shot. So that's the fun part about learning how to do this. And when we break down the haircut, we're gonna learn how to take the right pictures so we're not wasting time, because you can get your shots done 10 minutes of the whole haircut, and then you can come back and cut it. All right, so we're just gonna get that today. How many of you watch Netflix? Everyone? Your favorite shows, what's the best and worst part about them? When you finish one episode, you gotta watch the next. They created binge watching, right? So we're gonna do that today with our class.
No commercials.
We're gonna get you to a certain point, and I'm gonna leave you hanging. So you all have to come back on Thursday to see the next spot. Now, before I get into this, Sandy asked me to tell you a story about how I got into hair. I started doing hair about 13 years old. Went to a buddy's house, smoked a bowl, cut his hair using a fork and a pair of those orange handled kitchen scissors.
Oh my God.
Very good.
That's really good.
You know, we were high, he's like, hey, your dad knows how to cut hair, I bet you can do it.
Yeah, give me that fork.
So I tried with the basic tools of cavemen back in the day, caveman hairstylists. And I ended up getting the worst haircut of my life. A couple hours later, sobered up, Dad comes home. Hey, Giovanni, did you cut Dustin's hair today? Yeah, I did, Dad. How'd it turn out? Oh, it turned out great. Really? Yeah. Well, his mom, Darlene, called, and she asked me to fix it. So why don't we go in the basement, and I'll teach you how to do a real haircut. All right, that was my first lesson in hairdressing. So my buddy
Be
comes.
patient with him and his 65.
Yes. So now I, go in the basement. He's, my friend Dustin comes over, his mom comes over, and she's like, oh, thank you, thank God my dad was a great hairstylist at the time. He sits me down, and within 3.5 hours, I learned how to do my first men's cut.
Yeah, awesome.
Actually learned how to fix a bad men's cut. So I had 2 lessons in one there. Fast forward that couple years, get into high school. At this point, I've been doing hair. It's my sophomore year, end of sophomore year. Been doing hair about 2 years in the basement, playing with friends because I kind of got addicted to it. I fell in love with hairdressing at that age. And I also fell in love with girls at that age. So I found out that if you steal your dad's salon keys at night and you get a senior to buy a keg and put it in the back of the shop, you can have a lot of girlfriends. So, through high school, I used to do that. He never knew those stories until I was about 30.
It was like, why didn't you
He
invite me?
never caught me,
You
yeah.
never got caught?
Never got caught. But I had a lot of fun, and I did some really bad perms,
Yeah.
Now, fast forward a couple years from that. I went to West Virginia University on a diving scholarship. And 2 weeks into school, I had spent all my money. Like I said, I was addicted to girls. Found a couple of cute girls, went on a lot of dates, spent all my money taking these girls out. Called home, said, Dad, broke, need some money. Can you send out a care package? Sure, Giovanni, I got you. So I'm all excited, waiting, figuring there's gonna be a big envelope of cash or a check or whatever. I get this huge box in the mail. I go upstairs, open my box. Right on the top thing, there's a little Post-it note. It says, "Get to work, bud." Underneath that Post-it note, I had a tub of bleach, a box of foil, combs, scissors. I mean, you name it. I had a whole salon in a box.
Love
Needless to say, I didn't graduate college. I went for 1 year, because in that 1 year, I made $10,000, charging $5 a haircut and 15 for color.
Wow.
it. Wow.
I figured out that I could change my name to Francisco, act gay, and get into the sorority houses. I did hair for the sorority moms and the sorority girls. So yeah, we had a blast. Now, what does that tell you? I never got in a rut. I figured out ways to be creative, right? All right, so that just shows you a little bit of the way my brain thought all through my whole life. If it wasn't girls, it was something else. When it became money, you start chasing money. You know what? You know what I chase now? Time with my kids. I like to work hard. I like to be creative. I like to push the envelope at work because it gives me time with my children. You know?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, this is creative marketing by putting together photos and videos and education that your clients can use because they can be better at hair, at doing their own hair, which is marketing for you on the street. And still to this day, no matter what you do, the best, number one, most marketed thing is word of mouth.
Absolutely.
Always. That's what makes you the most money. All right? Personal relationship with your customer, giving great work, trying to push that envelope creatively with them, and that turns into dollars. Facebook posts don't really do much unless they're directed and done the right way. If you're going to give your clients education, they're going to eat it up. If you're going to teach them how to use their flat iron to put waves in their hair, it takes you 5 minutes. Their hair looks better for the rest of their life. You know, little things like that. So being creative on how you market that is really what you want to do. Now, we're literally going to finish sectioning out this head, and then after that, we're going to go be able to sit at the pool and drink tequila. So, I'm going to get through this really quick here, and then we'll close up. I think time's getting there, right?
My stomach says yes.
Yeah, it's lunchtime.
So have a fun party with a brush, huh?
Yeah, hey Jimmy, can you hear me? Pull them out of there?
Thursday. She's been wearing her part off till
Thursday.
Right. Yeah. No, in the top somewhere. Yeah. So, first part, gonna be left, center of left eyebrow to the apex.
How were you as a beauty school student?
As a beauty school student, I actually did really well. I went to Pivot Point, and as soon as I got into beauty school, like I was already in love with it because I'd already been doing it on my own, and I really enjoyed every second of being in school.
With the moldings, skip waves and all that?
Oh, finger waves, all that stuff. I was, into braids and everything like that. All right, top of the ear to top of the ear from the apex.
I was a salon rat like you, so going into beauty school, having to do all the pin curling and all that, I was like, what is this stuff for? You know?
And it's come back
Oh, I
in
know.
a lot of different ways.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of molding now with all the high styling and that.
Well, if you look at the red carpet over the last few years,
It's all
So we
showing
gotta
up.
learn it.
everybody's been
Yeah.
wearing those finger waves and pin curls and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And different versions of
Right.
it,
They're doing it now, right? Yeah.
Weddings. Yeah.
Alright, so for photo and video, most important thing you're gonna wanna do is tight, clean sections. Alright, take the time to do nice clean lines. If there's 1 or 2 hairs out of place, pull them out. all right? Top percent of the apex to the top of the ear, the left section. I should have told you not to do hairspray. That was my bad.
Are you kidding? A hairdresser that doesn't do
I
hairspray?
That's what baseball caps are for, some days.
Now you can see on your paper, we did the 6 sections. Exactly the same as we're doing it here. This is what I love about this. Most haircuts you can do in 6 sections. Some, only 4. Those are a little more basic. But you can be as basic and as simple as you want because that's going to transfer over into other stylists learning great things from you. I want everybody to be able to leave here at the end of the week with the ability to do these and then also to hold classes at your salon and to help you get more employees and help you create more of a buzz. Jimmy has a wonderful salon down in St. Simon's Island, Georgia. And him and I were talking about how he reached out on social media to all the other salons in the area and just said, hey, if you want to go in on a class or you want to do something together, we're open to that. And because of that, over the years, he's generated more employees that have been beneficial to his salon just from opening himself up and giving to others. Being in the company that you guys are with, I mean, that's just dollar upon dollar upon dollar. You do something simple and learn this stuff. And you can do this with the products just as much. You can take beautiful pictures with your iPhone of the products and put together an education real quick, either with photo or video online, that's going to upsell your products constantly. And then their clients are going to show that to their friends, and that's going to help grow that business too.
Jimmy, how many friends do you have on social media? How many follow you?
How many follow me?
Yes. Listen to this number.
It's just growing. I just moved everything to TikTok because I think TikTok is the next big one. So, hot tip. And in a month and a half, I'm up to 153,000.
You're growing at what rate now?
About 20,000 a week or 30,000 a week.
Yeah.
Well, you have about 30 more.
Now,
We're gonna find you, Jimmy.
And you do yours by education, like
he does little basic hair tutorials.
I
and
go
they're
direct to
great.
consumer and I just teach really, really simple tutorials
Okay,
because my demographic is probably middle school through college.
okay.
Which is, did you hear that?
Yeah,
You want to hit
middle
the
school.
youth?
Yes, right.
Okay.
Yes.
Especially with TikTok.
What makes TikTok so special?
Oh my gosh.
Like, what
It's, you know, it's really hard to keep up with social media. It
That's
really
what
is.
makes it so special.
Don't get me going. No.
Talk
to you later.
Yeah.
They
We'll talk
make
about
their
it,
own videos and they like, it's like the newest thing to learn, like my kids are like, did you see the dance we just learned? You know, so it's like, that's where my kids are at all the time.
And they warn
But
that
Facebook was
too,
Instagram.
to parents,
Yeah,
they warn
they
TikTok
shorted
for
down a little
parents,
bit more.
for their kids.
Yeah.
I heard, I read.
Giovanni,
Yep.
you were talking a little bit earlier about.
I don't know that it's
competitions, you know,
even-
and the,
Kids.
you know, the salon
I
across
don't
the
know that it's
street,
any
the
worse
salon,
than-
Yeah.
you down the way,
Being
whatever.
competitive against your
We
personal
had
profession.
a new member from down in Louisiana, and that's just how she said it, she's from Louisiana. And before JA, if she'd be out grocery shopping or whatever, she said she'd see another professional, and oh, she'd turn the other way, because that was her competition. But when she got involved with JA and wanted to get more people involved in JA down in her area, if she was in the grocery store, had her grocery cart, she'd jam right into them. Hey, how you doing? How do you like my color? I want to share this with you. And she said it was the best thing. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, got a wonderful group of professionals down in Louisiana.
We should all be friends. I
Absolutely.
mean,
I
and
agree.
my personal philosophy is love is the most important thing in the world.
Absolutely.
Loving yourself, loving your neighbor, loving your clients, loving the person you don't like. You don't have to like them, but you gotta love them as a person. Right? We're human beings. We need love. This has taken away a lot of that over the years, and generationally, I have 2 children, 6 and 8, both boys. An 8-year-old, not far from where we live, just committed suicide. At 8.
Yep.
8?
Okay? That's happening because there's no connection.
That's right.
There's
They read into
no
what they
love.
see.
And the younger generations don't have that philosophy. So for me as a parent, the most important thing that I want to teach my children is, it doesn't matter if they don't love you, you gotta love them. And at least their heart will be content that it won't affect them mentally the way that some of these kids have. And that philosophy should be everybody. Love your other fellow hairstylists. They're not competition.
Yep.
There's plenty of money to be made. If Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates can exist in the same country, we should all be fine.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's that process. Everybody can stand up. Come on up here. We're gonna, except for you, you're gonna stay seated. We're gonna take some pictures.
Yes.
All right. What are the 3 pictures we need to take of the sectioning? Back, side, top, and
I
front.
don't know if my
Right?
phone
We're
will
gonna do
let me
4 because
take
we want to
it.
show the progress. So, start with the back. The lighting is not going to be as great, so we all want to turn our flash on. All right? Just little things like that. Yeah, you can all take pictures. Already followed. Now, when you're taking your pictures, make sure you got a clean lens. Before you start, wipe your lens off on your camera. Okay, little things like that are important steps. Clean your lens, turn your flash on. When you take your pictures, you actually want to get in like this, and you want to take a square picture of the head. So that way you're showing your design lens as best as possible. You take a top, you want to make sure you get the top section as best as you can and have your camera flat on your phone. Take the sides, get to the same height. If there's a hair in the way, pull it out so you show the design lines. And show the whole face because you want to see nose, ear, design line, parting line, okay? You want to see wherever those lines are at. You want to be able to have the full face in so you can know exactly what spot those are.
You stay in front of the light when we take from this angle.
Well, yeah, if the lighting is like this, that's why if you have the flash, you want to get that.
I know that.
All right, so I just want to go over a few things. The applications for photo and video and growing your business are do it for your customer base, not for internet fame. Okay? When we do social media, we want to make money from it. That's the point. But we're not looking to get hugely famous and try to get advertisements and those things. We just want our clients to show it off to people who don't come into the shop. That's it. That thought process will help you create great content that your clients love to show off. Next, you're giving free education to your clients. It makes your look better when they look better, and they can do their hair better. So you're teaching them through doing things like this, how to do their own hair when they leave the shop, and then when they go out and they do it, their friends say, "Wow, your hair looks so good." And they say, "Oh, my stylist showed me how to do this, and they even gave me a little quick video or a little quick photo, which they can hand out and say, here, try this." And then you'll gain more clients that way, because a lot of hairstylists don't educate their clients on how to do their hair. It's also that competition mentality. Well, if they can do it as good as me, you want your clients to look the best as possible all the time. Number 3, your clients will share it to other non-clients. You will gain clientele through this process. And the last thing, this is all free education. That's the best thing you can get for free, is education. That's why everybody loves to read books and watch movies and see things, documentaries, and they like to learn. It can be about anything. You can use this for cuts, colors, products, sales, marketing, whatever category you want. You're going to be able to take what you learn here and apply it to any part of the business. Okay? You can do it with your products, the JA products, and you can pump the JA products. Rodan and Fields, Gino mentioned that. What sells Rodan and Fields? The product?
People.
All right, it's the people. And what really sells Rodan and Fields, in my opinion, is the pictures of the people in their brand new Lexuses that they got from the reward of selling it. You know what I mean? There's a million skincare products out there, and I think there's a million better skincare products out there. But as far as the way that they marketed it to the 30 to 45-year-old women who are stay-at-home moms who are able to get brand new Lexuses and trips to Hawaii because they sell the product, is what gained more traction, okay? You guys can use this here and do picture collages of your trip mixed in with pictures of your product in your hotel room against the white background or with the ocean in the back with the JA hairspray bottles up on your little balcony, and take that and sell your products to your clients. Say, we just learned about this new product here, check out these photos, this is how you use them,
Oh my God.
and then you can use each other. Anybody's rooming with each other? Spray a little bit and take a little quick 15-second video of that. Pop that out there. Guarantee you'll make sales here while you're here before you even get home. Okay? So this is step 1. Step 2, 3, 4, 5 are coming Thursday. Alright? Go put your bathing suits on, jump in the ocean, get some food. Thank you very much.